The growing number of people living on the planet and the inequality in the way that food is produced and distributed globally means that in some countries, people live on surplus of food, while in others, they face shortage and hunger. The prevalence of mass food production also means that food with little nutritional content and variety are the ones that dominate the global market. Here in Indonesia, even with the amount of agricultural land that we have, food security is still a problem as the country fails to produce enough basic food to feed a growing population due to, among others, weaknesses in its agricultural policies and heavy reliance on import. More and more, for the ordinary people, basic food is becoming an unaffordable commodity, while good, healthy, wholesome food a luxury. And yet, the growing of food sustainably should be the most important activity that humans do on this earth, because healthy food is key to human life itself.
This is interesting because we have a global agricultural model. I mean, it's just actually, at the end of the day, suicidal, not just for the biodiversity, but for us as a human species. And we are basically, living the realities of climate change, and we are basically a species that is becoming more vulnerable. And yet, why is it that you see that we keep on this path of non-sustainability when clearly that this should not be the direction in which we as a human species should be taking, because we're not working together with the planet, we're not working together with the land, but we're actually working against it. Yes,
I would call it a war against the planet.
Why do you think this is still persisting, if not?
You know, for the last 30 years, I've been saving seeds and promoting ecological agriculture. And our experience is showing that when you work with the processes of the earth and biodiversity to control pests or renew soil fertility, all of these processes are actually leading to an increase in food and nutrition output. The nutrition per output is higher. That's the way to solve the problem of hunger. Now, why is it that we are not going down the way of conserving biodiversity, water, working with the earth, but creating a war against the earth? I think there are two major reasons. The first is an old paradigm, a mechanistic way of thinking, constantly fragmenting and dividing and separating. And it worked fine for colonization. It worked fine for those who would dominate, but it is not the right way to relate to a living earth where everything is interconnected, where we are part of the web of life. And the second aspect is related to the fact that those who've done very well using what I call reductionism and fragmentation have then created systems that twist the facts. So we are told we are producing more food. No, we are producing more commodities that are traded.
For economic reasons?
No, even food is economic reasons. A small farmer making a living, a community being vibrant is an economy. After all, economy and ecology came from the same roots. They come from the word oikos, which means home. Ecology was supposed to be the science of the household. Economy was supposed to be the management of the household. But first we were told the household is an unproductive activity. If you don't produce what you consume, then you don't produce. You have to buy what you consume. That led to the consumerism vicious cycle. It also led to the concentration of economic production. After all, you have some of the most amazing, delicious foods in Indonesia. But it's so easy for a handful of industry to tell you your food is inferior. You know, the McDonald's, I see the golden arches all over the place. Junk food is spreading. And that's related to the fact that an economy of exploitation, which only does the calculations according to the interests of the big and powerful, not according to the interests of the earth or the small peasant, or the mother who has to bring up a child, also uses the old colonial method of repeatedly telling us through advertising, through the way government policies are shaped, that what we have is inferior and what we get from outside is superior. This used to be called the Macaulay recipe for colonization of India. And sadly, there's a cultural phenomena taking place, and that cultural phenomena is what's leading to our young kids thinking eating junk is superior to eating what their mothers cook. Or, even worse, the idea that working as a farmer is somehow backward. Being unemployed is superior. And that is what's facilitating land grab. You push the farmer down to the bottomest rung, and then it makes it so easy to say, the land is not productive. The land is so fertile in Indonesia and India. Farmers have worked so hard. My mother sent me to school and college as a farmer. Today, farmers are committing suicide in India because of indebtedness, because agriculture has become not a place where you make a living and where you maintain a culture. It's become a place where you sell toxic seeds, toxic chemicals, get the farmers into debt, buy cheap from them, process stuff in ways that makes it all unhealthy, and create a global market of toxics and junk and say, we have progressed. And that decolonization, I think, is what we really need. And we will reach that new decolonization only when we connect issues of democracy, sustainability, health, and the livelihoods of our people.
So there has to be a shift in the mental model of how
Absolutely.